Advocacy and Communications Officer at Out-Right Namibia told Today on One that the LGBT plus independence campaign will question the government's approach in reforming laws and acts that subject the LGBT plus persons to cruel and dehumanizing treatment from public service providers.
30 years post-independence, we still have a colonial legacy, which is the sodomy law that criminalizes same-sex consensual relationship between two male adults. This is 30 years post-independence, and this colonial legacy still exists. This is why we also aim to have the Special Week Independence campaign, because we want to highlight, but also to bring forth to the government at least these issues that we are tackling. And then even post-independence, 30 years, there's still not been any persecution of this sodomy law. So we are actually trying to say that this specific law should be repealed and annulled because it is obsolete. It does not serve any purpose in our constitution. The common sentiment that is LGBT issues are not necessarily pressing, and that we should focus on corruption and poverty eradication is actually hogwash, because if we're looking at our ministries right now, we have the Ministry of Gender, of Health, and the Ministry of Poverty Eradication that work concurrently to solve in their specific industries and their specific line ministries. So LGBT issues should also be then considered concurrently with all the other issues. It should not be a separated, isolated issues. As our director said, it's not about special rights, it's about rights, it's about equality for all of us.
The campaign will also speak to public officials, policy and lawmakers on the importance of including and representing gender and sexual minorities in their frameworks that will affirm, accept and dignify their existence.
We reflect on 30 years after independence. One of the things that we were looking at, or one of the presenting problems, is the combating of the Domestic Violence Act, which is discriminatory in nature because it doesn't give provision for the people who are in the same sex marriage or people who experience intimate partner violence. So it gets very challenging on how the law enforcers react to that or respond to that. And not only that, looking at the issues of health, access to health for an LGBTQI persons, the issue of discrimination, lack of sensitization, all these are the things that we are reflecting on after 30 years. To add to that, there is the issue of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. If we look at that, how far has our state gone on domesticating some of these issues that the country is signatory to? So where do we put the gender issues? We have the ministries that are responsible for gender issues, but how are these ministries domesticating that? Because Namibia is a signatory to various human rights treaties or sign things, how do we then domesticate and make sure it's inclusive of everyone, regardless of gender, sex, or any ethnic group? So during this period, we are looking at really having an in-depth reflection on that and on these presenting issues that we face as a community.
The Special Independence Week is scheduled to take place from the 16th to the 21st of March this year and will end off with a demonstration to the Office of the Prime Minister, where they will hand over a petition on the LGBT plus community's grievances in Namibia.